Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Hope everyone did have a good lunch before coming here. Hopefully don't doze off during my presentation, but you know. So since all of you work with billing every day, you already know the basics. How to track time, send bills, and collect payments. This session is about going deeper. Think of it as a chance to optimize, to spot the cracks where firms unintentionally lose revenue, and find ways to close them. My goal is to show you how to make your firm's billing not just functional, but high performing. Billing should feel less like a chore and more like an engine that reliably fuels your firm's growth. Before we dive in, I'm going to quickly introduce myself. My name's Arman Ganbari. I'm the Senior Product Manager for Clio Payments. I've spent several years in the fintech industry, both building products for established companies and founding my own startup, so I know what it's like to be a business owner like many of you in the room. At Clio, I've focused on one core mission, making it easier and faster for law firms to get paid. My background in fintech means that I've seen the entire payments lifecycle from multiple angles, and today I'll be sharing how billing experts like you can leverage technology and process improvements to capture more revenue with way less friction. Just a quick thank you to our unicorn, visionary, and innovator partners. We'll start where firms lose money, then walk through the billing blueprint: prepping, sending, collecting, reconciling, and reporting. Along the way, I'll show you concrete best practices and Clio features that make them work. Lawyers often work a full day, but only capture 2.5 billable hours, which creates a significant revenue leakage. Leaks occur at utilization, they occur at realization, and collection. Small improvements at each stage compound into more meaningful annual revenue gains. First, let's walk through the utilization rate. This KPI measures how much of a timekeeper's available working hours are spent on a billable client's tasks. The industry average is shockingly low, as I previously mentioned, around 31 to 33%, meaning out of your 8-hour workday, you're only collecting the 2.5 billable hours, as I previously mentioned. Growing firms, however, consistently have a much higher rate. And this just isn't about busy work. Even small daily increases in billable time can add up to significant revenue gains for your firm. So here is the billing blueprint. Prepping means clean intake and matter setup so billing week runs smoothly. Sending focuses on clear, client-friendly invoices with a consistent cadence. Collecting, reconciling, and reporting so you can close the loop so you can actually realize the revenue you've earned. To illustrate the power of this blueprint, we're going to follow the story of a firm called Equity Law Solutions. Now, the name Equity Law Solutions is fictional, and their story is built on aggregated data and common practices from many of our real firms on our platform. Before their transformation, the firms were not the best, but what we're going to talk through today is how to become like them and really improve your firm. They use one system for billing, they use another for accounting, and this manual transfer of data led to synchronization errors, a lack of confidence, and a time-consuming, high-risk reconciliation process. But now, Equity Law Solutions serves as an example of what's possible when you use an integrated system and do things well. I'll show you how they used Clio's features and functionalities to build out a high-performing billing cycle. So Equity Law realized that relying solely on hourly billing was limiting their growth. They learned that different matters require different approaches. They found that the best approach is a hybrid model and using the right billing model for the right client and the right matter. They understand that Clio should help handle these billing types seamlessly, so you're not forced to just choose one. Let's do a quick show of hands here. How many of you primarily bill by the hour? Okay, that's most of the room, I'm unsurprised. What about flat fees? Okay, good amount. And then lastly, retainers. Actually, one more. Subscriptions. A little less common, but I'm curious if there's anyone here. Got one, two, okay, a few. Awesome, that's great to see. So hourly billing for equity law, just like many here in the room, is still the backbone of many practices, especially for litigation and disputes where the scope can be very unpredictable, of course. At equity law, this model is mostly used for trial work and complex cases where it's impossible to know upfront how much effort will truly be required. But the key to making hourly billing work is accurate, real-time capture and descriptive narratives, which I have some really exciting stuff to talk about in a little bit. So instead of writing the phone call, just a quick tip here, 0.5 hours, equities lawyers previously wrote phone call with opposing counsel regarding discovery schedule, 0.5 hours. That level of detail provides client trust, improves your realization rates, and makes it easier to justify the value of every single invoice. Without those clear narratives, hourly billing can become vulnerable to client pushback, but with them, it becomes one of the most transparent ways to bill. Retainers can help stabilize your cash flow, and Clio can help you improve that process and with replenishment reminders to keep client funds available and to keep you in the loop. This removes a lot of the awkward chasing conversations that gives firms predictable working capital so they know they have the money they need to finish the case. Contingency work means that you're only paid on success, and Clio now helps you by tracking every expense along the way. And the settlement calculator lets you model outcomes clearly for clients before settlement, and this level of transparency, again, builds trust with your clients and reduces disputes. So, now let's get into the meat of it, the prepping stage. The first step for Equity Law Solutions' journey was focusing on improving their billing hygiene, recording time as work actually happened, and running a robust pre-bill review, and as well as establishing a regular billing cycle with using professional templates. These upstream actions remove bottlenecks downstream and ensure invoices are accurate and persuasive. Doing this at once, at intake, saves hours at the month end. So before the billing week even begins, Equity Law sets themselves up for success using payment profiles in Clio. These are essentially templates that define billing terms such as due dates, accepted payment methods, and whether or not trust funds will be applied. For example, corporate clients are then set up with net 30 terms, while real estate clients are always due upon receipt. Once a payment profile is assigned to a client, every invoice going forward automatically inherits those terms. This prevents inconsistencies where one lawyer might give a client 10 days and another 45 days. By standardizing your payment expectations up front, Equity Law not only speeds up their billing process, but reduces the chances of disputes later on. The key lesson here is that billing should never be reinvented for each and every client. A consistent framework ensures predictability for the firm and clarity for the client. A clean matter setup is like laying the tracks before running the train, as they say. If preferences, budgets, and trust notifications aren't set at the start, you don't need to scramble later. How many of you have ever realized that after sending a bill to a client that they had a special payment term that you forgot to apply? Anyone? Okay, got a few in the room. That's what we're trying to avoid by doing that setup early so you don't have to worry about that happening later. So by putting that structure up front, the billing cycle becomes dramatically simpler because each matter is already aligned with the right financial terms. Many firms do skip this step, unfortunately, thinking that they'll figure it out later, but that again leads to those bottlenecks I was talking about when invoices need to go out. Equity's approach is a reminder that a smooth billing cycle starts at the intake process, not at the end of the month. So contact setup also goes hand in hand with matter setup. And at Equity Law, every client contact in Clio includes key billing preferences and a preferred invoice format, delivery method, and their store payment methods. For example, some clients like invoices emailed, others prefer a printed copy, and now with text to pay, some can even get a text, and some prefer that as well. So capturing that at intake means there's no confusion when your billing week arrives. It also ensures that when a client has multiple matters open, the billing is consolidated correctly under one account. This reduces the chance of duplicate or fragmented invoicing and again is a small upfront effort that pays huge dividends in the future. So let's just do a quick show of hands here. How many of you track your time manually at the end of the day? Every day? Not many. What about weekly? Curious? Okay. So who feels like they're leaving billable hours on the table because they forgot what they did during the day? Maybe an email, things like that. It's pretty common, right? So you do a quick email, it's maybe 60 seconds of work, but you forgot to track your time because it takes more time to input your time than the actual work you've done. And that's what we call time leakage. So time tracking is the backbone of utilization and realization. And equity law has made it a cultural priority for their firm. Every lawyer and staff member is expected to log in real time, ideally within 15 minutes of completing a task, which can be difficult. They use both desktop timers and Clio's mobile app, so they can be recorded after court hearings, client meetings, or even while at the airport. To put the value in perspective, reclaiming just 0.2 hours, so 0.2 hours per lawyer per day, can translate to well over $10,000 annually at many firms. This is why equity reinforces that time capture is not busy work. It is revenue protection. They run internal contests to encourage consistent time entry, turning what could be a chore into a point of pride. However, there's even more improvements here with Clio's timekeeping capability, and this can help you stop losing track of billable time. Clio timekeeping works diligently in the background as part of Manage AI to accurately capture and log time across the apps you use every single day. This includes Outlook emails and outbound calls from the Clio mobile app, and soon this will also extend to Microsoft 365 and Zoom. This system gives you a clear and indisputable record of all the time spent on a matter, which you can easily review and mark as billable or non-billable. And with Clio timekeeping, you'll have complete confidence that time is being tracked and billed accurately. Less time tracking, more doing. If you're ready to see how this works, you can visit me or my colleagues in the product lab and we can give you a demo of this feature. It's super exciting and we're going to be continuing to build on this and add more applications in the future to have true passive time tracking. So talking about AI, some of this data here gives a snapshot of how firms are embracing AI today. So among mid-sized firms, adoption is nearly universal, with 93% of mid-sized firms have already integrated AI into their work in some capacity. This shows how quickly AI has been moving from as being an experiment to becoming a part of an everyday toolkit for the legal industry. What's equally as encouraging is that 72% of smaller firms are also adopting AI. So with AI in full swing, as I mentioned, Manage AI is your firm's administrative assistant for keeping matters moving forward. It can read court documents, it can schedule deadlines, and it can help you plan your day and surface priorities so you don't lose time on context gathering. This automation directly extends to billing with one-time setup. Billing managers can schedule bills to be auto-generated and complete with polished narratives. This drastically speeds up the time to process invoices and get your cash flow in the door. Equity law also uses Clio's expense receipt capture to capture receipts immediately after uploading them to the desktop or mobile app and attach them to matters so nothing gets lost on someone's desk. Clients can view, download receipts, and you can include them with your invoices, which improves your transparency. Quick capture means higher reimbursement rates and more accurate matter profitability. They take this one step further with the Manage AI Receipt autofilled expense receipt feature. Instead of manually entering in vendor names, dates, amounts, lawyers can simply snap a photo of the receipt and it will automatically extract relevant information from that receipt and attach it to the expense entry. This reduces your administrative burden significantly and eliminates a lot of the errors that can come with manually uploading receipts and putting that information in. The real benefit, though, is truly behavioral. Because the process is so quick and painless, lawyers are far more likely to actually record expenses in real time. Over the course of the year, again, this can mean tens of thousands of dollars of additional captured revenue that might have otherwise been missed if you're not uploading your expenses regularly. You can have a pile of receipts on your desk and you may forget to scan just one of them, and that could mean hundreds of dollars every single month. So now we've talked about all the things that go into your invoices and expenses. Now invoicing is the key here and should communicate value and be frictionless for clients to pay. Use Clio to keep your invoices consistent, professional, and aligned to each matter's billing model. When invoices are very clear, clients pay faster, and your disputes will drop. Think about the last time you've received a confusing bill, maybe from a utility, maybe from a contractor. Did you end up paying it right away? Probably not. You probably waited until you could actually figure out what the bill meant. And clients feel the same way about law firm invoices. Bill themes can help you control how those invoices can look and feel. And instead of one just generic invoice for all of your clients, you can create themes tailored to specific practice areas or even some types of clients as well. A clean, branded invoice signals professionalism. Multiple themes reduce your confusion and align bills with the work performed. A really good best practice here is to review your themes quarterly and keep them consistent with your firm's branding, tax rules, or firm policies. So one other new thing that we've added recently is creating a bill in your client's desired currency is another way of putting your clients first. You can actually choose the currency in which you want to bill your clients, and Clio can convert the time entries at the time of billing. The currency conversion feature is coming soon to Clio, and you can do multi-currency billing in Clio soon with this feature. It's super exciting that we have this, and again, we're launching currency conversion as well with a fixed rate in the app shortly. So on this screen, you can see, for example, there's a custom matter rate of 300 Great British Pounds, which is the firm's default. And there's a fixed custom conversion rate of 1 Great British Pound to 1.5 euros, which may be something your client agreed on in an engagement letter. And you can do this with a various amount of currencies and do multi-currency billing within Clio. So next, let's just talk about bulk billing. I'm sure a lot of you do this today. And this feature allows equity law solutions to quickly bill hundreds of clients at once, which is a significant time saver for firms with a high volume of similar matters. They also utilize batch actions for greater efficiency, streamlining their workflow, and reducing manual effort. And what about when an attorney at Equity Law forgot to invoice a client? Clio's Quick Bill feature allows them to instantly generate a bill for a single client and get paid on the spot. It's simple, it's fast, and it's an easy way to handle those one-off invoices without disrupting the larger legal billing process. So again, consistency is everything, and that's what we want to highlight here. Whether you bill monthly, quarterly, or even by case conclusion, predictable billing builds trust and ensures predictable cash flow for your firm. This consistency also streamlines your bulk billing process, making it easier for your team to manage billing with fewer errors. How many of you currently generate and send bills on a fixed schedule today? Pretty much the whole room. That does make sense to me. So once bills are actually generated, Equity Law enters a bill review phase, which is a crucial quality control step. So partners and billing managers will review invoices before they're sent to clients and ensuring they check for accuracy, completeness, and tone. Even though Clio automation minimize errors, this human review adds an extra layer of assurance and ensures the bill tells the right story. And with Manage AI, a lot of that will no longer be needed, with Manage AI being able to oversee bills and actually update them to make sure they're professional and on brand for your firm. So a poorly written and confusing invoice, though, can create unnecessary disputes. So Equity uses this stage as a way not just to correct errors, but to verify their work communicates value. They've trained their lawyers to ask themselves one question before approving a bill. If I were the client, would I understand this bill and would I feel confident paying it? That lens transforms invoices from generic paperwork into persuasive communication. So another key piece here is trust management, and that's one of the most powerful tools you can use, of course. Getting funds up front means that you're not carrying the financial risk of collecting later, and clients are more comfortable knowing their money is earmarked for a certain matter. With Clio, you can help yourself automate the reminders for trust replenishment, and there's less awkward chasing conversations with that and evergreen management. So Manage AI automates billing workflows using a one-time setup for firm cadence and preferences. It will help you draft polished, professional invoices that are ready for approval. It can help you correct typos and standardizes narratives so bills look client ready. And this reduces your drafting time and improves your consistency considerably. Manage AI then drafts invoices for approval and sends automated reminders so staff don't have to chase sign-offs. This accelerates your billing cycle significantly and again reduces the errors that are introduced by manual handoffs for the approval processes. Firms can finalize their billing faster and get paid faster. Now that we've reviewed the fundamentals of sending invoices, let's move on to some level ups in your collections process. And behind me, you can see kind of the overall process with what Manage AI's bill generation looks like, and the bill generation schedule that you can actually adjust, which is super awesome to see. And again, this will be available for all customers shortly if you have a subscription for Manage AI. Let's go back and talk about collections a bit. And this is a really key stat I want to really hammer home here. So what this really means is that 40% of potential clients would never hire a lawyer that did not accept a credit or a debit card. That is a pretty high percentage of clients. And what that really means is a firm without modern payment method options is effectively closing the door on half of their potential business before the conversation has even started. On the flip side, firms that do offer card payments immediately differentiate themselves and are meeting clients where they are at and are removing a major barrier to the hiring process. For those of you who still prefer a paper trail or you meet your clients in person, our QR code payments feature is a really fantastic option, and you can add a scannable QR code to any invoice or a trust request, for example. This gives clients a seamless way to pay you online, and they can simply scan the code with their smartphone, which adds them directly to the secure payment page. And this means that even with printed bills, you can get paid online quickly and seamlessly, and that bridges the gap between the traditional and digital payment methods. And here's an example of what that QR code looks like. So why does this matter? Because clients today expect options, whether they want to pay online from their couch or scan a QR code from paper or save a card for later. Giving them choices increases your chances of getting paid quickly, which is so important to all of us in this room. So the text-to-pay feature allows you to send both invoices and trust requests to your clients via text. This is brand new, and this is an incredibly convenient way to get a bill in front of your client immediately. Clients can access, view, and pay their bills directly from the secure payment link by text, and it's all integrated within Clio. So if someone replies to you within the text thread message, you can actually see that within the communications tab, and you can have a conversation with them. The mobile-first approach directly contributes to higher collection rates. Since this release, we have seen text outperform email by 10% for bills paid on the same day and 7% within 1 week of being sent. That is a considerable amount, and it's the most we've ever seen with a method of sending a payment. A pro tip here would be to run a collection report and an AR aging report today. Identify some of the clients with the oldest outstanding balances and use text-to-pay to send them a reminder. It's incredibly simple, and it's a good action that you can take to have a big impact on your overall cash flow at your firm. One theme running through Equity Law's billing practices is that billing is not just a back office function, it is a client experience touchpoint. The way invoices are designed, delivered, and even paid reflects on the professionalism of the firm itself. A confusing or an outdated bill can undermine your client's trust, while a clear and convenient process can reinforce it. Equity views billing as part of their client's service, not just a financial transaction. They may even ask clients for feedback on the clarity of their invoices and adjust them accordingly. And that's something I really recommend a lot of you do. This mindset shift has helped them increase their realization and strengthen client relationships. Law firms using Clio payments report getting paid up to 2.5 times faster, which is really awesome. And Clio and equity law offers a variety of payment methods because flexibility drives faster payments. Invoices can be settled via credit card, debit card, bank transfer, or using even securely stored payment methods for ongoing matters. The goal is simple: to give clients their choice to pay in a way that best suits them. To build on that point, Equity actively encourages their clients to store their payment methods securely within Clio. Once they're stored, these can be used for one-time bills, recurring subscriptions, or even replenishing your trust accounts. From your client's perspective, it's no different than how Netflix or Spotify works. Once you've saved the card, payments will happen seamlessly. From the firm's perspective, though, it drastically reduces friction and speeds up collections. Importantly, Clio ensures that all store data is PCI compliant and encrypted so that clients can trust that their financial information is secure. This small step has been one of the highest impact changes that Equity Law has made in their payment strategy, because if you have a stored payment method, you can collect nearly instantly that same day once your bill is generated or once you're generating a trust request. And for larger payments, Equity Law uses our new bank transfers option. This feature, which is rolling out to Clio Payments customers in the US, allows clients to send out payments directly via their banking app to your firm's virtual banking account. This is a game changer when working with organizational clients who prefer to use their own banking services rather than cards or e-checks for those larger transactions. All of these payments automatically appear within Clio, correctly associated to the right contact, which really streamlines your reconciliation process compared to traditional bank transfers such as wires or ACH, and improves your audit trail. It's a new way to get paid that provides convenience to your clients and efficiency for your firm. And again, we're rolling this out to most firms in the US and should be rolling it out to 100% of American firms by the end of the year. So at Equity Law, one of the challenges they often faced was clients who needed legal help right away but didn't have immediate access to funds for retainer. In the past, that meant that delaying work or not even taking that client on, or finally setting up an in-house payment plan, which also does create some cash flow risk for the firm. That's where Pay Later comes in. We're excited to announce Pay Later, a new payment method with Clio Payments facilitated by a firm. I know Jack talked about this morning and said it's coming soon, but it's actually live today. You can go turn this payment method on as soon as today in your payment settings, which is super awesome. With Pay Later, Equity can get paid in full and upfront while clients pay over time. So I'll repeat that. You get the money up front, you don't have to worry about collections risk, and your clients pay over time at a schedule that works best for them. Depending on their eligibility, clients may qualify for different financing options with interest, and funds can be directly directed into either both trust and operating accounts. What makes this different from traditional payment plans is the firm doesn't have to wait. A firm takes on the risk. I know that's weird because a firm is the lender and a firm, but I'm trying my best there. And Equity has the cash flow they need from day one. Imagine a family law client that urgently needs representation but can't cover that $3,000 retainer immediately. A firm is a great payment method option for them and can help them balance their needs. So instead of walking away, they can choose Pay Later, sign on, and the firm works right away with the funds already in their bank account. By offering Pay Later, Equity removes a major financial barrier for their clients while strengthening their own financial stability. This option is again available to firms in the US, and each firm can decide whether they want to enable it or not within their Clio Payments account. So you can actually toggle this on and off if you wish to offer the feature within the settings page for Clio Payments. So collections are also often seen as a big pain point in law firm life, but Equity has reframed them into a client service issue. Because their billing is clear and their delivery is convenient, their payment method options are flexible, and then the collections become rarely adversarial for them. When reminders are needed, they are using automated reminders within Clio framed as helpful nudges rather than confrontations. For example, clients receive a polite reminder via email or text with a direct link to pay rather than a stern demand letter. This helps you preserve your client relationships while keeping your accounts current. Equity has found that when you make paying easy, collections take care of themselves. Our research from the 2023 Legal Trends Report showed that among solo law firms, those using automated reminders collected 29% more monthly revenue compared to solos not using it. It is a massive accelerator for collections at your firm. This is a direct result of the automation and convenience, and I'm excited to tell you that we're also working on some additional improvements here in the near future that will make this product even better. So now that we've talked about collections, let's dive a little bit into reconciliation. So settlement cadence is a powerful lever for controlling your firm's cash flow and simplifying reconciliation. When choosing between daily and monthly deduction, consider your immediate financial needs. Billing experts align their settlement timing with their firm's accounting rhythm. You can choose monthly if your reconciliation efficiency is your goal, or daily if your granular cost tracking is super important for you. So I'm going to turn to Clio accounting now a little bit and reporting. Equity integrates Clio directly within their accounting software, which eliminates the need for double entry and manual reconciliation. Every invoice, payment, and trust requests are recorded into Clio, flows automatically into their accounting system. This reduces errors, saves staff hours each week and month, and ensures that financial reports are always accurate and up to date. Without this integration, firms often waste enormous amounts of time reconciling data between different platforms and systems, creating opportunities for mistakes. Equity's approach frees up the bookkeeper and focuses on high-value tasks like forecasting and analysis. Clio Accounting brings all of your financial workflows into the same system as billing, manage trusts and operating accounts with full compliance to jurisdiction rules, and eliminate double entry by linking invoices, payments, and ledger entries directly. Reporting is legal specific, of course, and built to handle trust reconciliations, three-way matches, and even client-level reporting without workarounds. So when billing, payments, and accounting live within one system, reconciliation is instant, and compliance risk is lower, and this improves your firm's financial visibility firm-wide. Auto matching automatically pairs Clio Payments transaction with bank fee deposits, so staff don't have to manually match each payment, and this saves hours and reduces reconciliation errors. Automation here makes month-end faster and far less stressful. The final step for Equity Law Solutions is reporting. They use these reports for their firm's vital signs, giving them a clear picture of overall financial health. Reports provide powerful operational insights, tracking work in progress, assessing productivity, and understanding which lead sources are valuable for their business decisions. Most importantly, however, this data feeds directly into better decisions about pricing, staffing, overall growth, allowing the firm to experiment with new revenue models and streams. The data that Equity gathered showed that clients demand predictable billing, which led to them to experiment beyond hourly billing. They realized that flat fee for predictable tasks provides some cost certainty to clients, and Clio can help with that by running a matter profitability report before you do flat fee to actually understand the services of the actual cost of the service before you do a flat fee model. So running that report allowed them to compare their flat fees to recorded time, giving them real-time insight into matter profitability and ensuring that new model was actually financially sound. The data showed a need for reliable, recurring revenue. And subscription billing also is exactly that for the firm, and predictable costs for the client. So Clio can help operationalize for example, a contractor advisory package with a fixed monthly fee, with a set number of consult hours and contract reviews. This transforms the lawyer-client dynamic. Instead of being reactive, the firm is a proactive partner, delivering steady value and loyalty. And again, you can offer subscription billing through Clio by simply going to payment plans, creating a new payment plan, and selecting ongoing. This will essentially create a payment plan that will not end until you wish to end it. You can update the payment method on file and also even change the payment amount every single month. And you have different options for weekly, every other week, monthly, and we'll shortly be adding an option for annual as well, so you can do subscription billing within Clio. To talk about custom reporting a little bit in the next slide, unlocks tailored insights by letting firms pull specific custom fields and advanced filters into saved or even scheduled reports. This helps answer some of your more nuanced questions with like matter profitability or even originator performance. We can use custom reports to guide pricing and even staffing decisions. You can use pipeline, billing cycles, payment timelines to forecast revenue and plan hiring and your investments at the firm. Forecasting removes your surprises and supports confident growth decisions. Clio reporting feeds the data that you need for accurate projections for your firm. So the broader theme here is that equity makes decisions based on data, not guesswork. They track their payment times, their realization rates, and their client feedback to validate client satisfaction. Furthermore, they measure profit margins and churn metrics to confirm that new services like subscriptions are financially viable. This data-driven approach allows them to scale with confidence and continuously improve their firm's operations. So Equity Law has reviewed their data and is now focused on scaling. Law firms of all sizes face major hurdles due to significant upfront costs and the need to float your clients' expenses. While traditional bank loans are often slow and lack legal industry expertise, Clio Capital leverages your firm's secure case history and payments data to provide a faster, more accessible financing, enabling your firm to grow confidently without relying on personal debt. This feature is super exciting. I know Jack announced this, but we will be offering this to select US customers by the end of the year. And you can actually grow your business with our capital partner. So I'm super excited to offer this. It's our first kind of foray into lending, and it can help accelerate your firm's growth or even just get you started from the ground up. So to wrap up after that, you can set yourself up for billing success with a great foundation. You can use Manage AI to automate your billing, expense capture, and even more. Improve your collections with Clio payments, and you can reconcile faster with custom reporting and Clio accounting. These actions increase your realization and reduce your administrative drag. Together, they can transform your billing week into a competitive advantage. So some top 4 takeaways here are to set yourself up with billing success with a great foundation, leveraging AI, improving your collections and processes with Clio payments, and utilizing the data sync between Clio's payments, billing, and accounting products. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you're leaving with practical ideas of how you can build your own best billing week. Remember, the goal is not just to send bills, but it's to create a process for firms that work to build confidence with your clients. I'd love to hear some of your questions, and I've left time for Q&A as part of this presentation. So I'd love to hear some of that and get that started. But the first question maybe I have is, what part of billing week feels most challenging to your practice today? Anyone? Where?
Ours is keeping up with trust, and I guess that kind of goes into my question. Clio offers you to set a minimum trust balance on the accounts. Does Clio plan on maybe, or if not already, integrating that into the automation process where we don't have to update the trust? For instance, we do billing weekly because we have so many different clients. So we do billing weekly. So every week when we do that billing, of course, the trust account goes down. So if they didn't pay their trust request last week, well, the trust amount request just goes up.
Right.
So if we have any kind of automation where Clio can automatically generate an invoice for their trust amount based on the minimum that we set and the balance is in there.
Yeah, so we're actively looking at that right now. So essentially what you're describing is like kind of an automated evergreen retainer where we would know maybe your work in progress even, and if you're going to run up against your trust balance. So yeah, we're actively looking at that and hoping to do something pretty cool there next year. I'm not going to promise timelines. I'm a product manager at the end of the day. But again, it is something that a lot of customers of ours have requested and something that we really want to do, because that level of automation, as you mentioned, removes a lot of the stress from the firm itself. And you don't have to do all this chasing and like running a report to understand, oh, I've gone over my balance with work in progress and now I have to stop work. And we don't want that to happen, right? So we want to be as proactive as possible. That's something that we're actually working on. I'm working with one of my colleagues on the billing side as well.
Hey there, thank you. We're thinking of trying a subscription model. And so I understand from this that you can do the tracking and try to see if you're making money or not and how you should build it. Does it automatically send payments every month at that? And then you can track to that. And if they go over, does it alert you? Like, how do you best use this tool for a subscription-based model?
Yeah, so today, like the subscription-based product is pretty bare bones, to be fair. So what it will do today is, let's say you want to set up someone on a subscription for $500 a month in your mid-tier or whatever you want to call that. With that, what you can do is you can set up a payment plan and then you mark it as ongoing for $500 at a, let's say, monthly cadence. With that, you can actually get that set up and it will automatically charge their save payment method on file every single month until you've decided to cancel that payment plan itself. So yeah, that would essentially go on forever, and that's the process.
So that would be the basic, and then if they went over, you could just build them.
Yeah, so if they've went over their time and you see that, I would go ahead and just invoice them separately at your like normal hourly rate. What a lot of people do with subscription billing is they'll have like different tiers, which will have different things included. And if they go over that, you just pay the hourly rate or a flat fee for certain tasks. That's what we see a lot of firms in subscription billing that do today.
But the tool will track that, and it will let you easily, if you set up a matter for each.
Yeah, you would set up a matter for each one. Exactly. Yeah, precisely.
There's a question right here.
So on the pay later with a firm,
Yep.
first question on that, what's the cost to us for that? I mean, if we let them use it, is there a percentage? Is there a monthly fee?
There is a percentage. So it's 4.95% currently. So that's a percentage, which is the same that LawPay was previously offering as well. So that's the current offering for a firm. So that's the cost of the firm itself. And then the client, on the other hand, will have various different costs based on the length of the loan that they choose and their interest rate, depending on their credit and other things like that.
And if you turn that option on, every bill has the option to go to that. It's not a pick and choose.
Correct. That's for now. We have got feedback already that like some firms want it at the client level for certain clients to have that. So we're definitely looking into that for the future. But for now, it is a global setting. So an all or nothing, essentially. That's correct.
And if a client defaults on that loan,
It's not the
Does that-
responsibility of the law firm. Yeah. So
okay,
that
100% not our responsibility.
no, it's completely that relationship's governed by the BNPL provider, a firm. So that's between them and the client. You're completely like absolved of any kind of liability or risk involved with repayment of that loan.
And if there's any kind of blow up that results from that, do we have ability to get in there and, fix that, refund the client?
So
would
refunds are
refunds
definitely
work in a
possible,
dispute
100%. So
situation?
just like any other payment method, you could refund them if you wish to, and you can go through that process of helping them out with a refund. And then even like the Clio support team is willing to help out if there's something going on there, and we can try sorting something out for you as well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi. With Clio accounting, it's a two-part question. Does that sync with both operating and trust?
Yes.
So second part of the question, if it syncs with operating, do you have the capacity for it to handle payroll?
Not yet. Is in like AP payroll or
Like I have 25 people in my firm.
no? So we don't support like paying out or payroll yet, but it would take in terms of if you're paying out from your operating account, we would be able to see that through the bank feed itself. Like you're going to see that happen, but we're not able to support like paying out to people
Like
or
processing the payroll,
processing
taking
payments.
out, withholding, all that stuff.
Exactly. That part we're not there yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, I'll give a couple more seconds. Going once, going twice. If there are more questions, feel free to visit me and my colleagues again at the product lab. But I will wrap this up here. And again, if you need hands-on one-on-one support, though, you can book time at the Clio Success Center team as well. That's located in Exhibit Hall C, very close to the product lab as well. Really appreciate your time today. And thank you all for attending.